In this tutorial, I will be showing you how to make this beautiful freeform scrumble. The center of this scrumble is a crochet button. You can see how to make this button in playlist Crochet Elements and Projects tutorial 7. Here on the last round of my crochet button, I have 19 stitches. That is just for you to have the idea on what foundation I'm going to continue my work. If you have more or less stitches on your last round, so then your scrumble won't be the exact same one. Let's continue together. Chain 4 for the first chain space, skip 2 stitches on previous round, single crochet through the third stitch. Again, chain 3 for the second chain space and single crochet through the third stitch. Working in this technique, I'm not following a pattern, I'm just creating something new with every new stitch. Let's make 2 more chain spaces of 3, chain 3, skip 2 stitches and single crochet through the next stitch, and again chain 3 and single crochet through the third stitch. Now let's continue with popcorn stitches. So chain 3 to raise the yarn. 1, 2, 3. Then double crochet 5 through the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last double through the same stitch, 5. Now turn the work to the back and work a slip stitch through the first double. First 5 double crochet popcorn is ready. Continue chain 1 and work a 5 double crochet popcorn through the next stitch. Double crochet 5 times through the next stitch. 3, 4, and 5. Now turn the work to the back and work a slip through the first double. Again, chain 1 and make the same popcorn through the next stitch. I'm going to make a 5 double crochet popcorn stitch through in each stitch on previous round until I reach the first chain space. Between each popcorn, make 1 chain stitch. Here's the last double through the same stitch. Turn the work to the back, make a slip through the first double, and the third popcorn is ready. Continue chain 1 and work the same popcorn through the next stitch. In freeform crochet, there are no rules and exact pattern to follow. You can work any stitch you want, change the yarn anytime and as many times as you think needed. There are no rules of working in rounds or in rows. You can turn your work anytime and crochet going back through stitches you've just created. This technique is some kind of improvisation. Chain 1 and work the next popcorn through the next stitch. Double crochet 5 through the same stitch. 3, 4, and the last double 5. Now turn to the back and slip stitch through the first double. Chain 1, and here you can see we've almost reached the first chain space. Let's make 1 more popcorn stitch. Double crochet 5 times through the next stitch. 3, 4, and 5. Turn to the back and work a slip through the first double. Now I'm going to continue and work into the first chain space of 3. I have in mind to make a ruffle, so chain 1, double crochet into the chain space, then chain 1 and double crochet into the same chain space, chain 1 and work a double into the same chain space. Let's make 8 double crochet stitches into the first chain space, and in between the doubles make 1 chain stitch. Here I made 3, chain 1, double crochet 4, chain 1, double crochet 5, chain 1, 6, chain 1, 7, chain 1, and the last double, 8. Here you can see we've started our ruffle. Let's continue and work the same through in each of next 3 chain spaces. Double crochet through the next chain space, chain 1, double crochet 2, chain 1, 3, chain 1, 4, chain 1, 5, chain 1, 6, chain 1, 7, chain 1, 8, chain 1. Now you can clearly see the ruffle. So continue and work the same into the next chain space. Double crochet 1, chain 1, 2, chain 1, 3, chain 1, 4, chain 1, 5, chain 1. I'm working pretty fast for those who wants to see and learn some stitches and techniques that I'm using right now. Please check out our crochet tutorials for beginners. Let's continue. Chain 1 and the last double through the same chain space. Now chain 1 and continue, work the same into the last chain space of 3, 2, chain 1, double crochet 3, chain 1, 4, chain 1, 5, chain 1, 6, chain 1, 7, chain 1, and the last double 8. Here we have the center for our future scrumble. It is a crochet button. On one side I have made 6 5 double crochet popcorns, and on the other side a ruche. At this point I would like to complete the round by making a slip stitch around my chain stitches. These are 3 chain stitches that I made before the first popcorn. Slip stitch is made. Now above the popcorns I'm going to make chain spaces of 3. So then I can create something on top of them. To begin, chain 1 to raise the yarn, and then chain 3 for the chain space. 1 and 1, 2, 3. Single crochet under the chain stitch that is in between the first and the second popcorn. Again, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and single crochet under the chain stitch between the second and the third popcorn. Continue, chain 3 and a single crochet, chain 3 and a single crochet, and the last time chain 3 and a single crochet in between the popcorns. Here I have reached the ruche. What I'm going to do is to make some chain spaces or arches behind the ruche. So then on top of them I can create something more. Let's make another chain space of 3, chain 3, and single crochet into the chain space between the last popcorn and ruche. Now continue, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and double crochet into the first chain space of 3 on round before the previous one. For this, insert the hook from the back to the front between the middle posts of the double crochet stitches made into the first chain space, and then into the chain space and double crochet through. I don't count the stitches made into the first chain space to find the middle. I just insert the hook between the doubles that seems to be in the middle. Working in this way, into the chain spaces and lower round, you can see that our ruche is getting up and the stitches or chain spaces that I'm making are behind the ruche. So we are kind of creating a lower layer of stitches. Let's continue. Chain 4, I made 4 chain stitches. Now double crochet through the single crochet stitch that is in between the first and the second chain space of 3. I'm working through stitches on round before the previous one. You can try any other techniques while making your scrumbles. The only thing that you need to control is the final look of your work after you make some stitches. The piece that you're working on should not be twisted, wrinkled, or tightened with stitches. It should lie perfectly straight and look good. Continue chain 4 for the next chain space and double crochet into the next chain space of 3 and round before the previous one. Insert the hook from the back to the front between the doubles and double crochet into the chain space. Again, chain 4 and double crochet through the single crochet that is in between the next 2 chain spaces of 3. I remind you that I'm working through stitches on round before the previous one. Our chain spaces should be behind the ruche. Now let's chain 3 this time. 4 seems to be too many. And double crochet into the chain space of 3 and round before the previous one. Again, chain 3 and double crochet through the single crochet between the chain spaces. Here is the single crochet stitch. Insert the hook and work a double crochet through. Now you can see that 3 stitches is better than 4. Again, chain 3 and double crochet into the chain space that our double stitches are made into. Again, chain 3. Let's do 4 chain stitches this time. And let's make a single crochet into this space that is right after my ruche. Now let's check, does everything look good and the way how we want it? I like everything at this point. Now let's continue. Here above the popcorns we have a line of little chain spaces. I'm going to make a boolean block into each of following chain space. To begin, single crochet 2 into the first chain space, 1 and 2. Then chain 3 to raise the yarn and treble crochet into the same chain space, yarn over the hook 2 times for a treble. And work the boolean block around this treble. Repeat yarn over and pull up a loop from around the post 6 or 7 times. Let's do 7. I made 1, continue 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the last time 7. Now insert the hook into the same chain space, pull up a loop through, and yarn over and pull through all loops that are on the hook. And chain 1 to complete the boolean block. Our first boolean block is ready. Now let's continue. Make 2 chain stitches. No, let's do 3 chain stitches. And work the same boolean block into the next chain space. Treble crochet through the next chain space. Then yarn over, pull up a loop from around the post 7 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Insert the hook into the same chain space and pull up a loop through, then yarn over and pull through all loops on the hook. chain 1 to complete the boolean block. Here we have 2 boolean blocks. Again, chain 3 and work the same stitch into the next chain space of 3. Treble crochet and continue. I would like to say here that there are some different ways to work the boolean block stitch. All possible ways you can see in our series of crochet tutorials for beginners. And if you still have hard time making this stitch, please practice with our crochet basics tutorials and then go back to work on your project. Here I will continue and work boolean block stitches all the way till this last little chain space, and my block stitches will be above the popcorns. Here I did 6 boolean blocks, each stitch made into the chain space of 3, and worked around the post of the treble. Now I will continue and work into the chain spaces that are behind my ruche. Here they are. You can see them from the back. Here I have the first chain space of 4. Let's treble crochet 4 times into this chain space. Yarn over the hook 2 times for a treble. 1, 2, 3, and the last treble 4. Then treble crochet through the next stitch. And again treble crochet 4 times into the next chain space. 2, 3, and 4. And treble crochet through the next stitch. Now let's see. I will continue in this way. So let's do treble crochet 4 into the next chain space of 4. One, 2, 3, and 4. Then treble crochet through the next stitch. Here into each chain space you can make more or less stitches. It depends on the way how you crochet, loose or tight. So here please feel free to add some stitches if you think needed. I will continue. Here I have the next chain space, treble crochet 4 into this next chain space. 1, 2, 3, and the last treble 4. Then treble crochet through the double crochet stitch. The next chain spaces are smaller. They are chain spaces of 3. But anyway, I will do 4 treble stitches into the chain space. So let's continue. Treble crochet 4 into the next chain space of 3. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and treble crochet through the stitch. Looks good to me. Here what we have now. I would like to complete this round by bringing it all the way to this first boolean block stitch. So let's continue working to the following chain spaces. I'm going to work double crochet stitches. So double crochet 4 into the next chain space. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then double crochet through the next stitch. Continue double crochet through the next chain space. 1, 2, and 3. I will do 3 here. Now double crochet through the stitch. And here I have my last chain space. What I want to do is to pull this row of bullion block stitches a little. For this, I will do only 2 double crochet stitches into the last chain space, 2, and work a slip through the 4th chain stitch, top chain stitch here. Here is our scrumble, which is not ready yet. Here I made a slip through the 4th chain stitch and kind of completed the round. Now I'm going to continue working around the scrumble. Chain 3 to bring up the yarn, 2, 3, single crochet into the next chain space, and now front post double treble crochet around the post of the single stitch that is in between the chain spaces and lower round. So yarn over the hook 3 times for a double treble and work around the post of single crochet stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Double treble is ready. Now single crochet into the same chain space. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and single crochet into the next chain space. Here, as you can see, now between our bullion block stitches we have a double treble crochet stitch, which is a front post double treble crochet. Let's continue and work the same. Yarn over the hook 3 times and front post double treble crochet around the next single crochet between the chain spaces. 2, 3, and 4. Now single crochet into the same chain space, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the next chain space, and continue work the same till the last bullion block stitch. Repeat 3 more times. Here I worked a front post double treble crochet between the last 2 bullion blocks. Now let's take a look at the back. And now continue. Chain 3 for the chain space, 1, 2, 3, and single crochet into the space between the bullion block and the first treble. Now I'm going to make a ruche. To begin, make 3 chain stitches, 1, 2, 3. I'll skip this first stitch and begin to work through the next one. Double crochet 3 times, and between each double work 1 chain stitch. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet 2, chain 1, and double crochet 3 through the same stitch. Let's continue and work the same through in each of next 2 stitches. Continue through the next stitch, double crochet 1, chain 1, double crochet 2, chain 1, and double crochet 3, chain 1. Continue through the next stitch, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet 2, chain 1, and the last double through the same stitch. Now after this double, work a puff stitch around the next post of the stitch. Yarn over, insert the hook around the post of the next stitch. Take the working yarn and pull it through. My puff will be this tall. Continue, yarn over and pull up a loop 2, yarn over, pull up a loop 3, then yarn over, pull through all loops on the hook and chain 1 to complete the puff. Now continue and work in the round. Skip the stitch that holds our puff and continue through the next stitch making a ruche. Repeat double crochet, chain 1 3 times, double crochet 2, chain 1, and double crochet 3, chain 1. Continue through the next stitch, double crochet 1, chain 1, double crochet 2, chain 1, and let's do the last double through the same stitch, chain 1. Continue through the next stitch, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet 2, chain 1, and double crochet 3. Here we have our ruche with a puff stitch in the middle. Here's our puff. I like it, so let's continue and work the same. So work a puff around the post of the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop from around the post 3 times, 2 and 3, then yarn over and pull through all loops and chain 1. Second puff is ready. Now continue and work the ruche through in each of next 3 stitches, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet 2, chain 1, and the last double through the same stitch. Then continue through the next stitch, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet 2, chain 1, and double crochet 3. Here is our ruffled edge. It looks more like petals. Let's continue our ruche. Work through the next stitch, double crochet and chain 1, then double crochet 2 through the same stitch, chain 1, and double crochet 3 through the same stitch. Now complete the ruche by making a single crochet through the second stitch. Skip 1 stitch in previous round and single crochet through the next stitch. Now let's take a look on what we have here. Here we've made ruche with puff stitches. Let's continue and make some more puff stitches. To begin, chain 2, 1, 2, then let's chain 3, then yarn over and pull up a loop 3 times. Work through the next stitch. Pull the loop to the level of our chain stitches. Now yarn over, pull through all loops on the hook and chain 1 to complete the puff. Now continue, chain 1, skip 1 stitch on previous round and work the same puff through the next stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop 3 times, 2 and 3, then yarn over, pull through all loops and chain 1. Chain 1 and work the same, make 6 more puffs like this. Between the puff stitches, make 1 chain stitch. Here are my 8 puff stitches. I decided to continue making puffs all the way till the end of my double crochet stitches below. So chain 1, skip 1 stitch and work a puff through the next stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop 3 times, 1, 2 and 3, then yarn over, pull through all loops, chain 1 to complete the puff, then chain 1 and begin the next puff through the second stitch, 1, 2 and 3, pull through all loops, chain 1. So let's work the last puff. yarn over, pull up a loop 3 times, 3, then yarn over, pull through all, chain 1. Now continue chain 1 and single crochet into the first chain space here. Now here you remember we made chain spaces above the boolean blocks. I will continue working through the chain spaces, and right now I would like to make 2 or 3 spirals. So to begin the first spiral, chain 7. This is a foundation for the spiral. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now continue chain 3 and double crochet 4 through the 4th chain stitch away from the hook. 1, 2, 3 chain stitches, skip 3 stitches away from the hook and double crochet 4 through the next stitch. 2, 3 and 4. Continue and double crochet 4 times through in each of next 5 chain stitches. 4 and through the next stitch double crochet 1, 2, 3 and 4. Our spiral began to twist already. Continue and double crochet 4 through in each of next chain stitch except the last one. Here I worked 4 double crochet stitches through in each of 6 chain stitches of my spiral, and now I have 1 chain stitch left. I'm going to complete my spiral. For this, work through this last chain stitch, double crochet, half double crochet through the same chain stitch, and single crochet 2 times, 1 and 2. Then single crochet into the same chain space that we begin to work our spiral. Here is our spiral. Above the same chain space, I will be making 2 more spirals like this. So to begin the second spiral, chain 7, and following the same instruction, work the second and the third spiral. Continue, make 2 more spirals. Here are my 3 spirals made through the same chain space about the first boolean block stitch. Looks very beautiful. Now let's continue working into the next chain spaces, but before, let's chain 1 and single crochet through the single crochet and round below. Work through this single crochet stitch. Now into the following chain spaces, I will be making a big popcorn stitch. Let's work 9 double crochet popcorns. Begin to work into the first chain space. Chain 3 to bring up the yarn, 1, 2, 3. Then double crochet 9 into the chain space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the last double through this chain space. Then turn the work to the back and make a slip through the first double. Popcorn stitch is made. Let's continue chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and work the same popcorn into the next chain space. Here between the popcorns, I made 3 chain stitches. You need to see your tension, and maybe you would need to make more chain stitches in between the popcorns. Let me do the second popcorn and see. So double crochet 9 into the next chain space. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the last double 9. Turn to the back and make a slip stitch through the first double. The second popcorn is ready. Here you can see in my case 3 chain stitches is enough. If you think that this part of the round tighten the whole scrumble, so then you need to chain 4 or 5 between the popcorns. Chain 3 and continue the same. Make a popcorn stitch above each bullion block. So make 1, 2, 3 more popcorn stitches. Here I have made 5 9 double crochet popcorns. Each popcorn is above the bullion block. Now I will continue working around. I like the result, and actually you can stop the work in any time from now. I will continue the work and make some more of what I have planned. I will be making chain spaces behind our ruche. Let's continue together. So chain 5 and single crochet through the stitch and round before the previous one. Just insert the hook from the back to the front between the double crochet stitches and previous round and work through the stitch below. Again, chain 5 and single crochet through the stitch that holds our puff stitch. Stitch on round before the previous one. Again, chain 5, 4, 5, and single crochet through the next stitch that holds the next puff stitch. Here, as you can see, our chain spaces are behind the ruche. Let's continue with the last chain space of 5. Chain 5 and again single crochet through the stitch and round before the previous one. Insert the hook in between the double crochet stitches and work through the stitch below. As you can see, these chain spaces are on the back. They can work as a base for the next round of stitches, or you can work through these chain spaces while joining scrumbles together. Now let's continue. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and single crochet around the chain stitches that are before the first puff. And let's do some little petals. To begin, chain 2 to raise the yarn, then work a puff through the same chain space. Repeat yarn over, pull up a loop 3 times, and 3, then yarn over, pull through all loops on the hook, and continue. Chain 2, 1, 2, and single crochet into the same chain space. First petal is ready. Continue, work the same into the next chain space, single crochet, then chain 2, work an open puff, yarn over, pull up a loop 3 times, then yarn over and pull through all loops on the hook. Continue, chain 2, and single crochet through the same chain space. Single crochet through the next chain space and work the same petal. Here we have 2 petals ready. Let's work another one. Chain 2, work an open puff stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop 3 times, then yarn over, pull through all loops on the hook, open puff stitch is ready, then chain 2 and single crochet into the same chain space. Continue single crochet through the next chain space and work the same petal. Continue all the way till the last puff stage on previous round. Here I have made 10 little petals and I still have 2 puff stitches on round below. I decided to not work the petals anymore, otherwise my last round will wrinkle. What I'm going to do next is a decrease stitch to get closer to the spirals and smoothly complete the round. So let's continue together and work single crochet 2 together through the next chain spaces. For this, pull up a loop through the next chain space, hold 2 loops on the hook, then pull up a loop through the next chain space, yarn over and pull through 3 loops on the hook to complete the decrease stitch. Now to complete the round, single crochet through any single crochet on the bottom of our spiral. Our scrumble is ready. I won't continue my work anymore. While making this scrumble, I was using many crochet techniques and different stitch patterns, which makes this piece of work look very beautiful. Thank you so much for watching, and please make sure to subscribe for more free tutorials.